Everyone knows you can't make someone love you. But did you know you can make someone regret lying to you? And not just the lies they told you, the lies they told themselves too. Trust me. Hello friends, my name is Maria and I've had the privilege of living long enough to observe what happens to people who avoid love and human connection, and let's just say, it's not pretty. So many people who have come to this channel, especially people who had experience with hardcore avoidant personalities, often ask the infuriating question, how could they love me so much one day and discard me like trash the next? And oftentimes the answer is they do this out of fear, and they are immediately validated by the flood of relief they get afterwards. But you know, over a lifetime, year after year, people who have pushed people away, good people like you, who've cared about them, loved them, heck, you practically worship them, you were always there for them. Well, they end up being pretty lonely. They end up with a lot of regret. But the only thing that can keep them from experiencing this natural regret is when you, ever present, decide that you're still going to continue to be there for them if someone who has treated you poorly knows that they still have you in the background waiting for their potential return. Then it's easy for them to lie to themselves about their actions in your relationship. And if you're ready to stand up and show them the reality that they are not allowed to lie to themselves anymore, then grab a bottle of nail polish and let's talk. It's never hard for people to lie when they are good at avoiding reality. It's not a problem for them to lie, but boy, it sure is a problem when you call them out on it. They shut down or they go into no contact, telling themselves they need to protect themselves from your overwhelming anxiety. The reality is, no contact protects them from having to face you and take accountability for their actions. It's easy for avoidants to lie about what went down in your relationship because most avoidants naturally avoid any real issues. And they don't even know that they're avoidant. They never research anything about themselves, their behavior, or relationship dynamics, or things they can do to improve relationship dynamics. And even more importantly, they don't think they're the problem. They've concocted a whopper of a lie about you that they told themselves was a total deal breaker. And now they have no choice but to cut ties and discard you. They tell themselves the breakup isn't cruel and it's for the best. Well, I think this is already a lie because calling it a breakup is a lie. It's a discard, and anyone can agree that discarding someone who loves you and has been there for you is very cruel. You see, here's what we're not going to do on this channel. We're not going to go into this upcoming new year continuing to be gaslit by old, tired, avoidant lies. And everyone here has heard them. They are often telling themselves, I just needed space. They were too much. This is why the relationship won't work. I need my independence. I feel better alone. And here's where things get a little hairy. Because you listen to them saying these things, but it doesn't make sense compared to their actions in the relationship, and you kind of can't believe what they're saying, but in that moment, they sure do. They believe the lie that they are better off alone, and it is immediately validated by the peace after the discard. But here's the kicker. I have personally known several severe avoidants in my life, and I have watched them over the decades push away good people. Yet, their life is anything but peaceful. They never find peace because they are not being honest with themselves when it comes to the reality of why all of their relationships fail. And before you come at me in the comments, because I understand that some avoidants do make commitments to get married and they stay married for a long time. But when I see two people who are warm bodies living in the same house, but they never interact, and one person is normally daily suppressing rage at the other person who is suppressing everything, well, I consider that relationship a failure as well. It's just my opinion. I don't care what the paperwork says. No one envies those relationships. Anyway, avoidants are good at blaming you for the failure of the relationship, and if your failures are always someone else's fault, there's no learning or growth. And if you think about it, there becomes this constant aching bitterness because you feel like everything just happens to you and you have no part in running your own life. The only thing you have learned to do is run. And if you never face anything bigger than you, you end up feeling small and insecure. Avoidants are some of the most insecure people you will ever meet. Testing your mettle is how you realistically measure where you are at in life, and continuing to push through hard things and find out what you're made of, having some success with it here and there, that builds confidence. You know, when I sat down to paint my nails every morning, I used that time to take a hard look at patterns that were not getting me anywhere. One of them being when someone closed a door in my face, or maybe they ghosted me, I kept trying to knock down their door. I believed the lie that their avoidance of me automatically meant they were better than me and I needed to prove myself. But more times than not, because the power of social media, I would later find out that these ghosters were already in a committed relationship. They didn't really care. And, you know, that committed relationship in itself is a complete lie because you found them on Tinder acting single. Avoidants might use you to validate themselves. And I know because of their cool demeanor, they appear secure and confident. But all they bring to the table is lies of confidence mixed with future faking. Now, it's probably a future they actually do want, and they regret letting it go, but only when all the little ways they distract themselves, the distractions wear off. And it is when these distractions finally wear off, that's when you hear people talking about their avoidant ex popping back up out of nowhere, sending them breadcrumbing text messages, or finally interacting with them with like thumbs up on social media pages. And there's no telling how long any avoidant personality can go before they finally get to that point of reaching out again. And this brings us to something critical. When an avoidant who discarded you reaches out, I want you to remember this. Just because they might regret losing you because they are lonely, it does not mean they regret how they treated you. They might miss your company and regret being alone, but it does not mean they understand or regret their actions. And they never will if you continue to help them lie to themselves. And you do this by still continuously checking in with them, asking them how they're doing, trying to explain yourself, by still being emotionally available to them. Nothing has really changed for them. So the story they tell themselves about why things ended still works. Hey, they must not have been that bad. Well, it's time to give your ex a dose of reality. No more accepting random last-minute invitations from someone who acts like they need space from you. Your presence is not a punishment, and I am sorry if you have internalized that awful message because of the people you grew up with made you feel that way. Now, no more paying their bills. Watch my video from last week about overgiving. I'm looking at you guys. I know you might feel bad for your ex, but really think, have they ever genuinely felt bad for you? You have paid enough. No more answering them back after a certain time at night, especially if they send you some booty call breadcrumb text. Stop diminishing yourself by being their ready-made blow-up doll and put their ego into check. Text them back at 1 p.m. the next day and say, "Oh, I was sleeping, LOL." Do not say you are sorry. You know, this will come naturally, especially after a period of no contact, because you won't feel the need to be at their beck and call anymore. And the very first time I sent this text to a fearful avoidant who had been jerking me around, just trust me, if you are used to being at the beck and call of someone who treats you like you are disposable, giving them that LOL gets super addictive. You will feel that power of your autonomy and you will break the booty call cycle. No more gussying yourself up and looking great to Uber yourself on down to people who make it a point to create space in a relationship and prove to you how much they don't care anymore. Welcome to the other half, where we know attraction is not just about looks. We also need to take care of the inner half, because it's when we finally show up for ourselves and check in and say, "Hey, how are you doing today? What do you need today? What can I do for you today?" That's when we finally begin to build natural boundaries, so people can't just jerk us around and use us for all the loving and caring little things that we used to do for them in the past. We hold boundaries and it becomes so easy and so natural. And here is another boundary that's a really great one. It's birthday boundaries. They ignored your birthday wishes. They don't get them anymore. They ignored your invitation to come out with you on your birthday. They don't get invitations anymore. Oh, you used to make a big deal over their birthday, and now they're sad because they don't have anyone who really does that, because people who care are hard to come by? Too bad. Maybe they shouldn't have lied to themselves that they don't need anybody. People need people. And you know what? People don't get to just treat other people any way they want, good or crappy, and still continue to get whatever they want from them. You are allowed to give to anyone in your life that you choose to. And you are also allowed to withdraw your generosity from people who treat you like they don't value you. And hey, maybe you think that that's a little selfish, but maybe this new year, it is high time for you to be a little more selfish. This is your year to shine with a genuine light. You don't need some avoidant ex's intermittent frostbite. That is right, a pun and a rhyme, and that's how I know we are all going to have a happy new year. My name is Maria Adriana. You did not have to live my life, but I certainly hope you can learn something from it. As always, thank you for visiting the other half, and happy, happy new year.